Part 3. My dear sister, I was tired of what I was going through. After he released me from that dark prison, he told me to go back and perform the duties. But now this time I had that little word of God, receive Jesus and be saved. So when he took me in that room to perform my usual duties, deep down my heart I was saying, receive Jesus and be saved. He tried to wake up the manhood for this dead body, and it didn't work that day. He tried all the tactics, it didn't work. The manhood for the corpse, it was just flat. Me, in my heart, I was just saying, receive Jesus and be saved. I didn't even know what it meant, but for me it became a slogan that saved me now, because each time when I say receive Jesus and be saved, I used to have a lot of peace. This man tried all he could for 3 weeks, but the manhood for this corpse refused to erect, and that's how I was saved. For 3 weeks, I never performed those duties, and this man was becoming more frustrated. So one morning, I overheard him. He was on the phone call with a unknown person saying, this girl she has become more stubborn. Each time when I take her to the altar, the manhood for the corpse, it's not rising anymore. What can I do? And this man said, this girl, he's got more powers than yours. So if you want to continue with her, it's either you eliminate her, because she knows a lot. So that night when I was supposed to be eliminated, I sneaked out of home and I went in the street to go and look for this man who was talking about this Jesus. Fortunate, I found him and I told him to go to a corner, because I was scared to sit with him in public. So I asked him that, explain more about this Jesus, because that word you planted in my heart, it has really helped me from a lot of things. Then this man got a Bible and he started preaching. He quoted Romans, which says, if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus is Lord, you shall be saved. Then this man of God led me to the Lord. The moment I received Jesus, I said, Jesus, come into my heart and be my Lord and personal Savior. This man, the Indian man, appeared where we were seated and he sat next to me. He was tapping on my shoulder that immediately when you get back home today, you are going to die. And this man, he continued praying that you shall not die but live. You shall not die but live. That's how I gave my life to Christ. And immediately a lot of things started appearing, calling me back to that man's house. I shared with this man of God my whole story, and he told me that you are not going back to that house. I'll take you to a shelter where you are going to live until we start processing your documents so that you can go back to your country. That's how this man took me to a mercy shelter. I found some people there and they started praying for me. That's how I was prayed for. But each night when I sleep, I would see creatures coming chasing me. But this man of God told me that, fear not, for God is with you. So I stayed there for 2.5 months. They were preparing for my document, because this man got hold of my passport. So I couldn't travel back home. They started processing for my document to come back home. So it took them a lot of time. This man started taking me through deliverance. I remember one time he invited one of these prominent Nigerian prophet who came in the city. I was taken there to go for deliverance. That's how they started praying for me. And I started receiving spiritual help, and I started growing. I started knowing how to pray. That's how I survived that horror movie. That's how I sneaked out of that country and I came back to my country. I hope this message I believe this message will be an eye-opener to someone. Please, my young women, those of you who like dating foreigners, I am not saying foreigners are bad people, but make sure you know the person you are getting involved in. I have wasted my 12 years in that country and my life has been ruined, but with the message of God, I believe God for total restoration. I am now a Christian and I am serving God. I encourage you people out there, find Jesus before it's too late. There is no happiness without Jesus. Jesus is your covering. What saved me to come back from that deadly situation? It's because of the little word that man of God preached in that street. Please don't overlook people who preach in the street. They carry Jesus. Don't despise the people that preach in these buses or in the streets. You don't know where your salvation will come from. Please, I urge all you men and women, give your life to Jesus. If there is anyone in that situation, please find Jesus. Jesus is going to save you. That's how my life was saved and I came back to my home country. I am beginning to put my life together. I hope this message finds you well and I hope you are going to learn something. I didn't go into all details, but I hope one day my dear sister will host me on his live video so that I can bring more information of what I went through. This is just an icy on the cake. I have a lot to share. I hope, my dear sister, one day you shall give me an audience to share my story on a live video. We need to tell the world what is happening in the dark world. A lot is happening in the dark world and a lot of lives have been enslaved because of this marriage things. More especially people who marry foreigners. You need to be very careful. Young women,